So I wanted to come to you today and do a quick comparison on our albums. These are the My Legacy albums with the faux leather front. This happens to be the sea glass color, and this is the postbound album. So I'm going to talk about the postbound album first, and I'm going to show you the exact same pages with all the different types of page protectors that you could get for a 12 by 12 album in both types of albums. So you can kind of see how it would work. So let's talk about postbound for a minute. The leather covering is going to be the same. It's a smudge-proof, waterproof faux leather, so very sturdy. It has a 1.5 inch spine, and that's going to be the same as the D-ring. And you're going to get in your pack, you're going to get a spine, matching spine that then you would tuck into the sides here. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's two pockets, a front and a back, and you kind of tuck them in until you make it the right curve that you want. So for the postbound, I'm going to just open it up. All of our albums are lined with a buffered linen-free paper so that it won't yellow. It's acid-free. It's perfect for memory keeping. It'll last over time. It has a nice magnetic strip on the front and the back that are going to protect your pages from the screws. These posts have a flip bar on them so that they're easily unscrewed and screwed in. You don't have to worry about using a screwdriver. And they have a protective little plastic piece that protects the buffered paper from your screw as well. Okay, when you have enough pages in your album, this is going to lay real flat and tuck and fold together. If you don't have as many pages, you don't have a full album, this might kind of pop up and you kind of just have to tuck it down in order to close the cover. So I'm going to show you some pages of my son's first year, and I'm going to show you the different types of pages I put in here. So I have a traditional 12 by 12 page, and I apologize for the glare. So you can see this is side loading page protectors in here. So it actually loads right here on the side. Okay, so towards the spine. All right. So you can see there's a nice gutter that goes down into the spine of the postbound so that my albums actually do what we call kiss. So you get more of a seamless look. They lay real flat, and the two pages are going to butt up really close to each other, so you kind of get that cohesive look on a two-page layout or a two-page spread. Now on this one, I just kind of wanted to show you, again, sorry about the glare, that I have a traditional page with a traditional page, but I also used a larger flip flap. So this is a 6 by 12 flip flap, and it just sits right on top of your page protector. And then when you open it, you can store more photos on underneath. You could store your journaling. I tend to put my nicer posed photos on top, and then my blurrier, sillier photos underneath. And then I used a little hook and loop dot to kind of help keep that down when I flip the pages. It's not going to keep flapping back and forth. Okay. Now you can see what I did here, where I used the back of my 12 by 12 page protector. I made it look like a pocket page by making a grid on just regular white daisy cardstock, and then I paired that with another grid actual pocket page. So you can see this has pockets that I still haven't embellished all of this, but you can see how you could put traditional with a pocket page. And this lays fairly flat. Right now my book is barely open, so that's part of it too. And then as we turn this page, you'll see it kind of has to fold goofy or kind of buckle a little bit because of where the seam is. The pocket pages don't have as much of a seam allowance as the 12 by 12 pages, and that's because they need a little bit of allowance for all of these seams in between, and they want to keep the page protector the same length as all the other protectors so it's not hanging outside of your book. So you're going to lose a little bit of gutter, so it might have a little bit of pop up here, But as you open your book more, which you'll see, it'll lay more flat. So to me, this doesn't bother me, but it might bother other people. Here's some more just traditional 12 by 12 pages. And then I went back to the same sort of format when I did his monthly photos. So as you can see, my book, I'm starting to get more pages on the one side, so my pages are back to kind of kissing. And then I used another flip flap on this one for some more photos of my little guy. And then I also used some Pocket Plus. So here I did a faux grid again, just to start my pocket pages a little bit easier. But it's just a white daisy cardstock just cut down into a grid pattern. And then I used our Pocket Plus page to add just some extra photos within a half page. Okay. Lays really flat. The Pocket Plus has a little bit more of a gutter because they can make it as wide as possible. It's never going to hang out the side of the book. Here's another traditional page. And then the same sort of format with a flip flap here. So this one, again, I kind of did the grid. Here's a Pocket Plus, and then here is a pocket page with the 3x4s. So you can kind of see it lays fairly flat. I have pretty even distribution of pages right now. It pops up just a little bit, but it's really not that bad. And even when I fold this over, it curves a little bit, but it really isn't horrible. So I don't mind it. I like the look. I think it works fine in a postbound album. Okay, I just wanted to show the back side of this page. Again, I did a faux grid to match up with my pocket pages. So you can see that this one is buckling a little bit because it's using the traditional 4x6 vertical photos, so that tends to have a little bit more of a buckle because there's not as much of a gutter. But again, to me, it lays still fairly flat, so it doesn't bother me as much. It buckles a little bit more turning the page. I do have a few more photos on one side, but once you keep turning pages, it lays flat again. So again, doesn't bother me, but this is in a postbound. So here I actually have a half page on in between two traditionals, and here's a 4x12 flip flap, and then again I kind of did more of a square boxy look as a grid, and then did my pocket page on there. So just kind of give you an idea. I did flip flaps on every page to start his monthly photos. This one I did the look of a 2-page spread with a faux grid backed up to an actual pocket page. So you can kind of see just how this looks. Again, this is going to buckle a little bit more because we have vertical photos that are going down into the spine without much of a gutter. So they're going to want to stand upright. They're not going to want to lay flat. There isn't a whole lot you could do to fix that if you want to use these particular styles in your postbound, but that's, to me, it's okay because I can easily just, put a hand on it and look at the pictures. It doesn't matter if it doesn't lay completely flat for me. And then I still have some pages I need to finish up, but I have those all kind of planned. This 10-month one, I did a faux grid, half page, grid page, or a pocket page, and then another pocket page. So you can kind of see how that progressed. And then I finished off the album with a few more half pages, Pocket Plus pages, a couple more of the pockets that I still have to get some of the paper for. And then I have a traditional page on the back. And this has some of the smaller flip flaps. So this is a 4x6 flip flap. And then, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, over here is a little 3x3 flip flap. So that's what it looks like in a postbound. It has Close to My Heart here in the very back. Again, it has the buffered, lignin-free, acid-free paper that lines your album to keep your memories protected. When I am doing a postbound, there's one product that I suggest you use, and it's these spine expanders. It comes in a pack of 10. It's just a plastic piece. It says close to my heart on one side. I usually have that side facing up, and then I'm going to fold it in half. You don't cut it, you don't trim it, you fold it in half, and then when you put it in, when you're putting your pages in your postbound, you're actually going to put this every so many pages so that your album's going to lay flat and it's not going to lift up an alligator, so to speak. Alligator is when your album is open, more open on the end than the spine. And that alligator look, this kind of crescendo look, or accent look, is actually really bad on the spine. It puts a lot of pressure along this edge, and it can break the spine down and make it a little more wobbly. It can kind of loosen your screws. So these spine expanders help release some of that tension off the spine and lay your album more flat. So what I do in a book like this, where I didn't have a lot of 3D foam, I didn't have a lot of chunky embellishments, I put a spine expander every 5 to 7 pages. So I would put 5 or 7 pages in on a post, I'd put this down and put 5 or 7 more pages on top, put another spine expander, 5 or 7 more pages, and then I did that all the way to the front. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but each place that there's a little gap here, that's a spine expander. And so you can see it's kind of separating my page protectors, so it's relieving stress off the spine and allowing my album to lay flat. If I had to do an estimate, I think there's about 35 12 by 12 pages, including pocket pages in here, and maybe 15 or so half pages. So that gives you kind of a rough idea. Plus I have the flip flaps and everything else in there too. So it fits quite a few. I could still fit a few more pages in here before it's completely full. So you're looking at roughly 30 to 40 pages per album. And that's with a little bit of pop-up, a little bit of embellishment, and then some of the flip flaps and heavier elements as well. So that's the postbound. Now I'm going to compare it to the D-ring. Okay, so let's compare the postbound now to the D-ring. So this is a D-ring album, and this D-ring album has a 1.5 inch spine as well. It has the same faux leather material on front. This is the same sea glass color. It's going to have the same buffered, lignin-free, acid-free liner on the inside. The only difference is it now has a 3-ring D-ring center, as opposed to a postbound. It's only mounted on the one side, so you have a free moving, I guess, center spine and front cover, which is nice. I put the exact same pages that I used from the last album into this album, so then you could compare how they lay and how it works. So now I have my 2-page spread, and you can see they don't butt up next to each other. They're not going to kiss like they did in the other album. So there's more of a gap. To me, I don't mind it as much, but I know some people don't like that look. Where you really start to see the differences with the pocket pages. So here I still have the flip flaps that I used. Sometimes people get worried about the D-rings kind of catching. Our D-rings are really smooth. They're a real tight lock, so I don't really have any problems with that. But now you can see I've got this pocket page, and it's going to lay flat even when I turn the page, because that extra gutter, it doesn't matter anymore. It's still going to be the same length as my other page protectors, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to skip ahead since you've seen a lot of these before, and I'm going to show you when I go into the half pages. So you can see I did my faux grid on one side, I've got a Pocket Plus half page, and then another traditional. Let's go into this one, where I've got my traditional, I've got my flip flap, and then on this page I have a traditional faux grid backed with a pocket plus and a pocket. So you can kind of see that all lays really flat and really nice. I've got, just so you know, my one cover is kind of up at a slant because it's such a long book. So it's not going to lay completely flat on the one side, but traditionally it would. It's just leaning up against something. So here you can see I have some more pocket pages. And this one I have pocket page, pocket plus, pocket page. So see how it just kind of easily flows. Plus, what I really like is I can just pop these open and I can change my pictures around. I can add more layouts in between if I found some more pictures, whatever may be. So let me jump ahead to where I have a little bit more pocket pages is his 10-month. So I still have some flip-flaps here in the front. As you can see, I kind of repeated the same idea, the same pattern, just with different papers for each month. So here I did the faux grid on this side, just cut my pictures down a little skinnier to make it look like a pocket page. Then I have a pocket page that comes back to back with that, pocket page with a pocket plus, and I just added a little tab on there, and then pocket plus backing up to another pocket. So that's how, and some of these embellishments and stuff are not stuck down, so I was still trying to finish up these pages. Okay, so you can kind of see I did the same thing here. Faux pocket page, pocket plus, pocket. So they just lay a little bit better. And then I ended it with that traditional page that has the extra flip-flaps on it on both sides. So really the pocket pages are meant for a D-ring type album. They lay flat, they don't buckle, but as you can see, you could easily use them in a postbound as well. It's just up to you as far as the aesthetic that you like. The other product that I do like to use when I'm talking about albums are these label holders. You get 2 in a pack. They are a heavy-duty metal, and they just clip on to your spine. So if you can see that, it's kind of a nice tight clip. You can slide in a piece of paper or a label to label your album, but this just clips onto your spine like that. Hopefully you can see that. And you can use this on the D-ring or the postbound. It will clip right onto the postbound as well. And they're easily removable, easy to change out the titles if need be. But hopefully that kind of gave you an idea of the difference and the comparison between the two using the exact same pages. All right, guys, have a great night.